And I have told you before that in my studies, working for my real PhD from a great university with a published dissertation, morons, idiots who've never went anywhere. They're giving you stories they read on the internet because a girl with abs tells them to eat hamburgers all day long.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Well, we got this angry old man here. And I say that not like, I don't know how old he is. I'm not like age shaming anybody, but he just seems like an angry old, like bitter man, you know, and he's ragging on freaking carnivore. So this video here, he was live, I guess, when he did this. Carnivore diet madness, the true evidence. So we got to go over this because I don't know. It's just, he's a political commentator. This video is not at all political, has nothing to do with that. So I don't follow this person, but I have heard of him and I saw this and I watched a little bit of it and I'm like, there's no way I can let this go. I'm sorry. I just cannot. This is the perfect encapsulation of establishment capture. That's all I'm going to say about it. We'll look at it and you guys can judge for yourself. But if you ever wanted to see what it looks like if you drink the Kool-Aid for like 70 years, this is what it looks like. So, shall we?
And welcome to the Savage Nation. Now, today, I'm going to talk about the realities of the so-called carnivore diet. I've been telling you I wanted to...
So-called carnivore diet. Yeah, we can kind of see where this is going already. Just saying.
Do this for quite a while, and I will present the evidence to you, and you'll decide on your own. Now, before we begin, I have to lay down a few parameters because most people don't understand the basis of any discovery, of any science. Since COVID, people have no faith in research at all.
No, we don't, actually. That's a true statement. We don't really. Not that everything's made up, but a lot of it is. A lot of it is people saying that some kind of study was done and this study and that study and coming to conclusions that aren't based in a lot of evidence, but they say it's evidence. They say they have plenty of evidence. They say that the conclusions are unbiased. They say a lot of things, you know. It's kind of reminiscent of, you know, every week you turn the TV on and it'd be like, eggs are good, eggs are bad. Eggs are good. Eggs are bad. Eat the whites. Eat the yolk. It's like bada boom, bada bing. Every week it's something different. Or coffee actually might cause you to live longer. Oh, coffee might cause you to die sooner. Ooh, booga booga booga. Like, I don't know. I'm just saying.
Mainly those who have never gone to college and studied actual research in the sciences, never mind the social sciences. Those of us who work really hard for higher degrees in the sciences must tell you that there is such a thing called science.
If he says science one more time, I'm going to stick something sharp in my eyeball. Okay, let's take a look at what he's got here since he's college shaming people. Michael Allen Weiner. Okay, I forgot his name. All right. Michael Savage. That's what I would name myself if my name was Michael Weiner. And maybe I'm saying that wrong. Weiner.
Weiner.
It looks like Weiner to me. But anyway, so Michael Weiner named himself Michael Savage. I probably would have done the same thing, actually. Unfortunate name. But anyway, let's just get past this. So he's a political commentator. And says here, he has a master's degree from the University of Hawaii in medical botany, and medical anthropology, and a PhD from UC Berkeley in nutritional ethnomedicine. God, that sounds made up. I mean, I imagine it's a real thing. I can imagine coming from UC Berkeley. That just sounds like a degree you would get from Berkeley. I'm not ragging on people. I'm just saying, like, hippies and whatnot. So he's college shaming people. So we want to make sure that we show that, Mr. Weiner has some college. I'm sorry. Oh, you can't make this crap up. You really can't. All right. So I'm going to keep going. I'm maintaining. I got it.
And research and discovery and evidence. So if you have, let's say, an uncle who lived to 100 and you say, oh, that's a bunch of crap, Savage. He ate meat all his life and he smoked and he drank whiskey. Well, that is a man I call a nutritional rogue, but he is not a man that you base an entire opinion upon. Donald Trump is 77, 78, 79. He eats hamburgers and fries. He eats the worst garbage I've ever seen in my life. He is a nutritional rogue. He is not an example for a whole population. So I have studied whole populations, diet and health in general, for a long time, because I have a very poor genetic inheritance in terms of early death from heart attack. So I was driven to try to find out, why would my poor dad die at 59? Why would my grandfather have died at 47? Why would the great-grandfather have died at 37? Well, there's a genetic element. And I have told you before that in my studies, working for my real PhD from a great university with a published dissertation, morons, idiots who've never went anywhere. They're giving you stories they read on the internet because a girl with abs tells them to eat hamburgers all day long. If you can't...
Is he ragging on steak and butter girl? I don't know. Or gal. It's butter gal. Is he ragging on her because she's always wearing like a crop top and she's got pretty good abs, I think. Is he ragging on her? I don't know. Who could he be talking about? That's just, he's just mean. He's just mean. Let's keep watching.
Learn, disappear, and don't talk to me about anything. There are three elements to health and disease. One is genetic, two is environmental, and three is the unknown. We cannot control for the genetic. We inherit it or we don't. We cannot control for the unknown.
The unknown? Oh, the unknown. Oh, okay. Maybe it's bromine in all of our bread. Maybe it's all the sugar that Ansel Keys was so keen about, covering up way back. Maybe it's all the seed oils. Those unknowns. Is that what you're talking about? Those unknowns? The toxic sludge that we're being fed? Those unknowns? Oh, okay. Carry on, Mr.
We don't
Weiner.
know what that means. But the other element we can control for, which is the environmental factors. In this case, I'm talking about disease and health related to diet, which I've studied for a long time. I began writing books on health in the 1970s. Some of the books were translated into 8 languages, such as Maximum Immunity. Now, you have people embracing a thing called the carnivore diet right now, which is so dangerous, I have to do this study today and show you the studies. Excuse me. I had to present the evidence, and you'll do what you want anyway. Most of you will not listen to a word I say, and you'll say, I'm eating a carnivore diet. I never felt better. All my illnesses are gone. Good for you. Get back to me when you're 80. Get back to me when you're 80. Get back to me when you have colon cancer, because you're going to get colon cancer or something like it from a high meat diet. You will get sick and you will die young, period. And I'll present the evidence. And one of the things that's triggering me today is RFK Jr., who is perhaps the most unqualified person to have ever invaded the HHS. He has zero experience in science. He is not a medical doctor. He's not a PhD. He's not a research scientist. And yet, because he could
Do you know how stupid I think people are that keep using the word science over and over and over and over and over again? Like, I swear, of all things that trigger me, the word science really triggers me. Like, what are you talking about exactly when you say science? Are you talking about engineering? Are you talking about brain surgery? Are you talking about clinical trials? What are you talking about when you say freaking science? Like, what branch of science are you even speaking of? Just stop saying the word science. It sounds so stupid. I hate that. Okay. Now I'm getting cranky. God, is he infecting me with like old man cranky crap or something? I don't know. But he's making me mad because of the way he's speaking. We're all going to get cancer. For sure, you're going to get cancer if you eat meat. Sorry about that.
Do push-ups, he thinks he's a genius on health. So now he's going to change the dietary guidelines and say,
I'm sorry, but compared to RFK, you look like crap. And RFK's like primarily a carnivore. He eats like fermented vegetables. The last time I saw him speaking, like some fermented something or another. But he mostly meat, I think, is what he eats. And yeah, Mr. Weiner, I don't think I'd throw rocks at his glass. If you live in a glass house, don't throw rocks. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, you look not good.
it's good to eat saturated fats because he eats saturated fats. This is stupidity. And so I therefore think you should pay attention to what I'm about to tell you. Again, in order to understand any about what I'm saying to you, don't tell me that you love meat. I don't want to hear it. You're going to be deleted immediately.
Gonna be
If you're that
deleted.
stupid that you're going to just tell me you eat meat and you could do push-ups, go away. Don't bother me. Listen to me. You are not a large population of people. In order to come to any conclusion about whether or not a diet is good for people, you have to study large bodies of people, not a single individual. That is what discovery is. That's what science is. So let me give you the real science and do what you want. First of all, there's nothing new under the sun. The carnivore diet's nothing new. Atkins pushed this crap in the 70s, and it was only supposed to be done for intermittent periods, for short periods of time. The Atkins diet eventually was dropped by many people because they found out they were blowing out their kidneys, because in case you don't know it, the kidneys have to denature meat. Meat is rich in nitrogen. The meat is broken down, as are all proteins in the kidneys. And many of you are going to wind up with kidney disease and with colon cancer from these high meat diets. But if you want to...
Okay. First lie is that there is no study, there's no evidence whatsoever to actually bolster that claim. There is no study that proves that when you eat meat regularly, that it ruins your kidneys. That is so dumb. I can't even quantify. That's like saying something that we actually evolved eating causes us harm. Really? That's like a wives' tale. Like that's so stupid that it's not even like I don't understand why he would say something like that, because he's got to know that it's easily debunked. I mean, because there aren't any studies to support that. It's something that is said and that you hear, even from doctors, you'll hear it, but there's no supporting evidence to that. Okay? It just doesn't hold water. So I'm really surprised that he's using that one here. It's a very, very weak and fallible argument. And if you're wondering about all of this cancer and all of this, kidney problem thing like that you're hearing, if it sounds scary to you, I would suggest that you go to Dave Mack's channel and watch the thousands of videos that he's done on people who have been on carnivore for years and years, a lot of them. And it seems like with all of those interviews, you would have people going, hey man, I was doing this diet and I felt really good, and then my freaking kidneys just went kaput, or I had all this, urinary problems or whatever. I've not heard any of those people say that, not once. So, him and all his science, it's like, no, that's not a thing.
to listen to people who are telling you the big lie. And by the way, right up front, I have no meat. I have no meat in the game. I don't care whether you eat meat or don't eat meat. I'm not here to sell you anything. So can you understand for a minute that there's a truth that I'm trying to get to? And you have to decide whether you're even able to understand truth. How do you arrive at truth? Well, you have to understand the basis of science and the basics of science, which most of you don't know. This is a dietary trend. It's nothing new. And everyone's telling you it's going to save your life. I mean, you say, yeah, Mike, I'm healthier than I've ever been because I've been on a carnivore diet. I lost weight. Well, you were eating garbage before this. So you stopped eating the Doritos and the tiramisu. Now you're only eating meat and you feel better. But what?
Tiramisu? Okay, anyway. That is a claim by a lot of people who try to actually debunk the carnivore diet. They say, well, you were just eating a bunch of junk before that, and now you're eating healthier, which there is truth to that. There is some truth to that. When a lot of people go from standard American diet and they go on carnivore, they stop eating all the processed food and they start to feel better. So some validity. However, the reason a lot of people who have inflammation from plants causing them all kinds of like autoimmune conditions, and they have a lot of sensitivity to that type of thing, they stop eating it. The reason they feel better is, number one, because they're avoiding all the plants too. Another reason is that people who are told to stay away from meat, if you stay away from meat, you do not get nutrient-dense food, and you actually cannot heal, and you're not going to feel your best if you avoid meat and animal fats. You will not feel your best. So people who actually have been avoiding all of that and they start eating all of that, it is directly due to the meat. It's due to the meat and the absence of plants in a lot of cases. Now, that you can't say everything for everybody across the board. People come to carnivore for different reasons. Some come to carnivore for weight loss, just weight loss. They meet their weight loss goals and they leave. Some people stay because they find they feel a lot better on carnivore. Then you have the people with the autoimmune conditions and they want to heal themselves. They come to carnivore because they have to stop eating a lot of the things that they were eating, even if they were eating whole foods. They can't eat the plants with all the defense chemicals. It causes them to be inflamed, and carnivore is something that makes them feel the best. So no, it's not just because you stop eating processed food, although that is part of it. That can be part of it. So
is the true evidence with regard to the carnivore diet, this new trend, especially amongst the idiotic youth, the dumb youth, the socialist youth love the carnivore diet. So this diet trend, meat.
So now we're socialist? It's like, I can't imagine that. Let me think about this first of all. If you're going to look at like communism or socialism or whatever, I think meat's the last thing on the menu, to be honest. I don't believe in an oppressive regime. You actually have people, the masses are meat eaters. You know, if you're pushing socialism or communism, and this is not a political thing. I don't care what people's politics are. The point is that doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? Think of like Marie Antoinette, like, you know, back in the French Revolution, like let them eat cake or whatever, you know? It's just, to call all the carnivores socialist is kind of a weird, thing. I don't understand how he like came to that. It's strange.
Madness has to be looked at because people don't know science, and I'm going to try and give you some of it, by the way. You're reporting that you eat bowls of steak, that you eat a dozen scrambled eggs in a single day.
Who eats steak out of a bowl? I'm just curious. If you eat steak out of a bowl, please put that in the comments, you know, because that's really weird, man. A bowl of steak.
You eat sticks of butter, and you never felt better. Your brain is clearer, you have fewer migraines, no body odor, you've lost weight or more. But does that tell us that this diet is safe over a long period of time for whole populations? No. The carnivore diet is also known as the zero-carb diet, which again is clinically insane. It's a very restrictive eating plan.
So it's clinically insane to not eat a high carb diet. He just throws that out there, just lobs that out like a big old grenade. He's not going to say why. He's just going to say, you're clinically insane. You know, if you're trying to convince people that you're concerned about their well-being because you think this diet is dangerous, you're really going about it the wrong way. You ever heard, my mom always said that if you want to catch flies, you can catch a lot more with honey than you can with vinegar. Yeah, this guy's full of piss and vinegar, though. Not working.
That says you should eat only animal products and nothing else. No rules, no guidelines for portion sizes or calorie amounts. The theory amongst those who are pushing this is that by cutting out carbohydrates, the body will burn fat for energy, which will lead to weight loss, also known as the ketogenic diet or keto.
That's not a theory. I actually can measure my blood ketone levels right now. There's a device that does that, and it shows that is me burning fat when I produce ketones in my blood. It is me burning fat, Mr. Weiner. That's some science for you.
Keto type diet. Nothing new. I know all about this. We've known about it for a long time.
Why are you calling it a theory then? It's not just a theory. It's actually the way your body works.
So here are the things that people claim they're experiencing from the carnivore diet. Reduced inflammation. That's a new hot word. Inflammation. Reduced inflammation. Inflammation. If you ask them what inflammation is, they don't even know what it means on a cellular basis. Improvement.
It's pretty self-explanatory what inflammation is. Inflammation is the reason I had 7 different medical conditions. I was inflamed like a mofo. I was so in pain all the time. I was miserable all the time. I was on a narcotic for 17 years, you jackass, and nothing would stop it. Nothing. Not veganism, not a balanced diet, not just eating whole foods. I had to stop eating plants, and I had to eat more of something I was avoiding. I had to eat more fatty meat. When I did that, all the conditions I was suffering from went away. Sorry, get a little passionate about this. You know, inflammation. He's making fun of inflammation. Inflammation is a concept that has been established as a thing. Okay.
Mental health. That's a long shot. Stabilize or lower blood sugar levels.
Oh, mental health improvements in mental health is a long shot. Okay, I guess all those people who claimed that they were super depressed, and when they actually started consuming animal products, more animal, an animal-based diet, that it actually resolved a lot of their depression and things like that, that they're just lying. They're making it up because of reasons. Why on earth would anybody lie? Why would people lie about this? And if you watch all the interviews of all of the people giving their stories of how they feel so much better, you can actually tell. I mean, if you have any kind of discernment, you can tell that people are really excited about getting their life back. A lot of these people were giving up. I know I was almost at the point of giving up, and it helped me have a new lease on life. But go ahead and just belittle them and put them down.
What can you eat on the so-called carnivore diet?
So-called.
Black coffee, butter, eggs, fish, ghee, meat, poultry, sauces, or gravies made with.
Coffee is not part of the carnivore diet. A lot of us drink it, but it's not. He's listing that like it's an animal product, which it's not. That's not carnivore. He doesn't even know what he's talking about, The fact that a lot of carnivores drink coffee is fine, whatever. But it's like he's like, this is the prescription for the carnivore diet. Like everybody that does carnivore does it exactly the same. when it's not true, you have people doing the lion diet. You have people doing animal-based, and they're eating fermented things like whatever. I mean, kind of variations of the carnivore diet and ketovore and keto and low carb. I mean, there's the low carb space has a lot of different options and stuff.
Meat drippings, small amounts of low lactose dairy and water. You cannot have alcohol, fruits, no
Low
no
lactose
grains,
dairy?
no legumes, no nuts, no seeds, no vegetables, no fiber. Insanity. Which is why you're going to get colon cancer, which is why there is an epidemic of colon cancer amongst the young. Why do you think there are so many people in their 20s with
So many people in their 20s with digestive problems? Yeah, that's probably because the standard American diet and all of this Brillo pad fiber garbage is like causing problems with people. That's the reason that a lot of people have to stop eating the fiber, because they keep eating the fiber and they keep getting sicker and sicker and sicker, and they have more IBS problems. Like my sister who has Crohn's, who keeps being told to eat high fiber diet, and it keeps tearing her apart, and she keeps doing it, and she keeps getting worse. Yeah, like that. Like all the people who suffer from these digestive issues that keep listening to you, people like you who are like fiber, 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 fiber. The whole fiber revolution thing, if you actually look back at what the heck that all was and where that came from, it's ridiculous. It is actually ridiculous. Man, the stuff that is propagandized in this country that we fall for, we almost deserve what we're getting. At times I feel that way. Anyway, I'm going off on a deep end, but I have a video about fiber. It's ridiculous. Anyway.
with colon cancer? You think it's coming out of the air? I'm trying to tell you that there may be some short-term benefits for those of you, especially those of you who have eaten garbage all of your life, to suddenly be eating decent meats. Now you're feeling better. But there's no long-term proof that this diet is good for whole populations, which is all I am interested in. Sure.
Is there long-term proof that a vegan diet is good for whole populations? Is there long-term proof that a balanced diet, how balanced? How much of this, how much of that? What food pyramid are you looking at? Are you looking at the basic four? Are you looking at the 1950s food pyramid? Are you looking at the 1940s food guidelines? You're looking at the government guidelines? What's your balanced diet? Exactly how balanced? How much of this, how much of that? Are you eating pasta? Are you eating candy? What you eating? What are you going to eat? What is your diet for longevity? What will make everybody live to be 120? Do you know? Oh, there's no study. Oh, there's nothing to prove exactly what you're supposed to eat. However, we did eat meat. That's what we've been eating. That's what our digestive system is actually made to actually process as meat, because we actually do not have a fermenter digestive system. We are not supposed to eat grass like a cow. We are not supposed to graze. And just shoving anything in your mouth is not a very good idea. Not very scientific of you, Mr. Weiner.
I'm glad you're eliminated unhealthy, highly processed carbohydrates, such as cookies, cakes, pastries, candy, and sodas. I don't eat them. The carnivore diet recommends adding salt to the diet to enhance the flavor of meat, which, by the way, I will tell you again, every study on earth will show you that high sodium diets lead to hypertension or high blood pressure, whether these are epidemiological studies.
So your electrolyte balance in your body is critical. It's one of the most critical things that, like, if it gets really messed up, you're looking at certain death, okay? You cannot not consume salt. You need salt to survive, okay? It's important for osmotic pressure in your cells. If you look at the sodium potassium pump, all of that kind of thing. And I'm not going into deep science or whatever here, but, it's very critical. My sister went to her kidney doctor. She's going to kidney doctors too. And she was telling him how proud she was of herself because she never eats salt. and he was looking at some of her blood tests, and he's like, oh, for God's sakes, you've got to have salt. You're not supposed to not eat salt. You know, who told you that? So this guy actually was speaking sense. Like, this particular doctor was telling her, look, you can't not eat salt. That is dangerous for you to avoid salt. Now, obviously, you know, you can over consume, you know, a lot of things, right? So, and it's like you can drink too much water. If you drink too much water, you can kill yourself, you know. It takes a lot, but you can do it. I mean, there have been people who've done it. So she was like, oh, but salt is bad. That's stupid. That's like saying LDL is bad. LDL is something your body makes. It makes it for a reason. Your body makes it, has always made it, and it makes it for a reason. It has a job. But it's like people being so stupid, they say LDL is bad. This is the bad cholesterol. It's not even cholesterol. It is a lipoprotein. Anyway, so this whole salt thing is like a straw man. Now, you can go into a rabbit hole of unopposed sodium, okay, and whether table salt is the kind of salt you need to be eating, which probably not. But if you look at actually, salts that are more natural, and you have like unopposed sodium, you don't have unopposed sodium, like there's like some nuance to that, but you have to have salt to survive. You know, you can't just avoid all salt. So again, Mr. Weiner, dumb. And by the way, you're talking about hypertension. The people that there is so many people that have actually started carnivore, and they don't need their blood pressure medication anymore. Okay, they're eating salt on their meat. Or there, you know, and then the meat has salt in it. There is salt in it. You can have salt added, and you can actually, you know, you're getting salt in the meat. You're getting sodium in the meat.
Every study shows the same thing, and all salt is salt. Sodium is sodium is sodium. If it's Himalayan salt or Morton salt, it doesn't matter. So let me cut to the chase. This is not a new diet. It's the Atkins diet. Relived, and I told you it was a very big thing, and it's probably one of the most unsafe diets on the planet, not only because of the long-term effects, but because of the effects upon the planet itself, which I don't want to talk about, because then we're going to walk into the eco area, which of course most of you will reject because you're all MAGAites. So let's look at red meat.
Okay. Again, so now he's claiming that everyone who's eating to correct their medical condition or lose weight, and they found success in eating carnivore, is of the same political persuasion. I don't connect the dots at all for this one. I really, really don't. There's not even any logic to that, like that people who actually are eating food to heal themselves have to be of the same political party. So that's what he's saying, is that it's a conspiracy, okay, that this is some sort of conspiracy that was cooked up by someone for political reasons, because he's saying everybody that eats this way has the same political leanings. Okay. Makes no sense whatsoever, but whatever.
Say. Red meat clearly increases the risk of colorectal cancer. Why? Because it may spur inflammation. A new animal study, which you haven't heard about.
Okay, so this is what I don't understand, is that the people who are going carnivore have inflamed digestive systems. That's one of the big ones. One of the really big sect of people that are going to carnivore to cure their medical conditions are because of gastrointestinal issues. Inflamed bowels, IBS, things like that. So if meat causes all this inflammation, how on earth would they be curing the inflammation that they have with all this additional is it a different kind of inflammation? Is it like a counterintuitive inflammation? Is it like a counteracting inflammation? Is it inflammation killing inflammation? That doesn't make any sense. Like, if it was so inflammatory, these people would not find any relief in that. It wouldn't work. But it's working a lot. There's a lot of people who are giving their stories of how nothing else would work. The doctors couldn't help them. Pharmaceuticals couldn't help them. And they started eating meat. And they left the plants alone, especially the people with the IBS and all of the, other like diverticulitis, things like that. They left the plants and things got easier and their symptoms were resolved in a lot of cases. So how is meat inflammatory exactly?
On Instagram, published in the Proceedings of the National Academies of Sciences, which is a very legitimate publication, has discovered that there's a sugar molecule found in red meat as one mechanism responsible. The molecule has got a long name. I'll cut it short. It's called NEU5GC, NEU5GC, NEU5GC. It's a sugar molecule for short. It sticks to the ends of sugars found in red meats, such as beef, pork, and lamb. Now, although most animals produce NEU5GC, humans do not. Humans are immunized against NEU5GC shortly after birth by an unusual process involving gut bacteria. And as a result, when people eat foods that contain NEU5GC, such as in meats, we produce antibodies that react to NEU5GC, which triggers inflammation. Previous research has shown relatively high amounts of NEU5GC in cancerous tissue. In foods, NEU5GC can be free or it can be bound to the ends of long sugar chains attached to proteins. The bound form is highly bioavailable, meaning it can easily be taken up into the body's cells. NEU5GC tends to accumulate in cells of the colon, the prostate, and the ovary. Can you put two and two together yet? In the study,
okay,
a very valid study.
All right. This is what I call but-for logic. Okay. But-for logic is where when you have like establishment entities and they don't want you to do something or they're against something, which everybody knows that the global order, kind of like the establishment, like does not want you eating meat. Meat is anti-meat. Meat is not pushed. It's not the grain lobby is the big boss. The produce that can actually be turned into all the processed food. It's where the power is. It's pushed. Okay. So when you have like this movement of carnivores who are finding relief and they're moving to meat and they're eating meat and they're abandoning the processed foods that are making, these huge companies like billions of trillions of dollars, right? You have a but-for situation. So if they can't find anything legitimate, it's kind of like they can go, oh, but-for, look at this molecule. We found this thing. We found this one little thing. Now, do they know absolutely what's going on in the gut? Do you think that science has the gut microbiome figured out? Because if you believe that, you're very naive. Okay. It's kind of like when you look up at the night sky, when you're talking about gut microbiome, and I was a microbiologist, so I understand something about microbes and how many there are and how many viruses exist in the world and things like that. I've worked in virology, I've worked in microbiology, all the kind of stuff. And it's kind of like, you have the universe is so vast, and it's like so many stars and so far and everything. And you're going to have someone just go, well, because I saw a thing here, or I saw this one area over here, it's like, I understand all of it. I know how it's all connected. No, you don't. Okay. And this argument about this molecule has been brought up before. This pops up every now and then. Just kind of just out of nowhere. It's like, oh, but and I don't even remember the acronym anymore. UG, whatever it is. So whatever the little tail end of the sugar molecule thing is, right? It comes up periodically. It's like, oh, bet you didn't know this. This is going to give you cancer, blah, 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 blah. They do not definitively know that. So when you actually look it up as to has this been definitively shown and established that this will cause cancer cells in humans, blah, 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 blah. No, has not. It's something that has been, it's a molecule that's been identified, okay? But what they do is, this is a but for. This is like when you have an argument like, hello, I've cured all my things. Look, I had 7 diseases and I don't have them anymore because I'm eating meat. And it's the only thing I changed. They're like, but for this. It's a but argument, and it's a but for. But what about this thing? Look over there, this is what that is, okay? It's the same thing that I was talking about earlier, like where you have eggs are good, eggs are bad, and you have articles. My mother would believe every article that came out. Every article. Like if they wanted to do a marketing push to sell, I don't know, certain supplements, it's like they say that this thing helps with whatever other thing. And she would go buy it. She would go purchase whatever it was. She had no idea what she was reading. She had no idea if it was true, but she just believed it and she just did it. This is the same thing. I'm not saying that all molecules that are identified that there's no validity to anything that anybody's doing, because that's a black and white view of things, okay? Multiple things can be true at once, but I do know that when you see these little discoveries that just kind of pop up here and there, and they're brought up when it's convenient, and it's not based on something that's proven, it's just something that was discovered. Like we discover different molecules, and we discover different mechanisms. But to say that we know absolutely that this is causing this, and this. And he talks about rat studies. Again, rats are not human beings, right? So there's certain things they found happen in rats. But they also come to conclusions based on connecting evidence in a faulty way, in a faulty manner, or in a dishonest manner, to be honest. They're just flat out dishonest about a lot of their methods because they have an agenda. They want you to abandon eating meat. They want to push the cash crops. This is what the establishment wants, what it wants. It wants to continue to make a lot of money. And, the more crap you eat, the better patient you're going to be in the future, and we'll be able to keep you alive by feeding you drugs and trying to correct your problem, or I don't know, actually mitigate your symptoms so that you keep hanging on and you're a good patient and you're like a cash cow. Eating meat is not like a novel thing. It's something that we've been doing as a species for the entirety of human existence, and it is how we became the apex predators. We are top of the food chain. So for someone to go, oh, but I found this molecule and it's really going to be bad eventually. You just wait. You'll see. That's ridiculous. So just remember, buts and but fors are not reasons to abandon what you know is working for you.
Study. The researchers found
Study.
by first assessing the NEU 5GC content in 62 commonly eaten foods, including dairy products, red meats, poultry, seafood, fruits, and vegetables. Whereas red meats had the highest amount of NEU 5GC, poultry, seafood, except caviar, fruits and vegetables had none. Beef had the highest levels of all the categories of red meat. Cow's milk had very little NEU 5GC, but cheeses from cow's milk or goat's milk had levels, listen to this, comparable to red meats. That's very interesting. Cow's milk cheeses, even goat's milk cheeses, had levels of this compound, NEU 5GC, comparable to that of red meats. Cooking had no...
What is he saying exactly? I think he just actually startled himself because he goes, "Oh, it's in cheese." He wasn't going to hate on cheese, and so all of a sudden he's like, "Well, wait, I just read this, and now I've got to hate on cheese as much as I hate on meat or something." Is that what he just did? Like, I don't even think, I think he just pulled this out of his butt and he just started reading it, like he hadn't looked at it before he actually did this live stream. Yeah, so it's in. So what would we left eating if we want to avoid this NEU 5GC? I think it's NEU 5GC. If we want to avoid this, we're going to be eating what? We're going to be eating just vegetables and fruits, and that's it. So you're a vegan? I don't think he's a vegan. So just saying, he kind of Mr. Weiner, I'm disappointed. Your argument is I don't know, kind of not going over very well.
No effect on NEU 5GC levels. And then by using a special kind of mice that can't produce NEU 5GC.
A special mice.
The scientists gauged the effect of dietary NEU 5GC on inflammation and tumors. For 12 weeks, they fed the NEU 5GC mice one of two diets, an NEU 5GC free diet or an NEU 5GC rich diet. Of course, mice have a shorter lifespan than humans. So a 12-week NEU 5GC rich diet simulated a human diet rich in red meat for many years.
Okay. All right. So many years. That's very I like I like how you quantify that. You know, this many weeks in this rat is many years in a human, 'cause reasons. Okay. That's science for you.
Animal study. Okay. At the end of the 12-week period, they injected some of the mice with NEU 5GC antibodies to mirror the antibody response of humans. It was only the mice that received both the NEU 5GC rich diet and the antibodies that showed evidence of systemic inflammation. Next, they fed a group of specialized mice either a new NEU 5GC rich diet or NEU 5GC poor diet. That was the control group. The mice were prone to developing liver tumors and immunized against NEU 5GC to mimic human-like NEU 5GC immunity and the antibody response. The mice consuming the NEU 5GC rich diet had higher levels of inflammatory proteins, more lesions on their livers, and eventually more liver cancer than the animals eating no NEU 5GC.
Do you know how much I would like to stick sharp things in my eyes right now? This is so painful to listen to. I don't even have words for it. I really, really don't. I am so tired of everybody. I just think for a minute, okay? I'm so tired of people needing a randomized, controlled clinical trial to eat food. Is this what we've become? We need white papers so that we don't kill ourselves getting out of the bed in the morning. Do we need that? Is that what we need? It makes me sad.
See. There was another longer study, which I will not read to you because I know you probably have blanked out if you have no training in science or in any developed thinking of.
If you have no training in science, because if you are just a dum dum, if you are just one of the peon peasants and you're just a dum dum, then you know, um, why am I even wasting my breath? What a condescending POS.
What of any kind, you're not following me anymore at all. You made up your mind and you just want to eat meat.
Yes.
So you're going to scream
actually.
and you're going to yell and you're going to tell me you know more than everybody on the planet. But you don't.
No, actually, I'm very very centered since I've been on carnivore. Actually, I don't scream and yell at anybody. Actually, I used to have I used to be more emotional. Things used to really rattle me. Minor stupid things, like I would get very upset and I would even cry. And now, really nothing phases me much. Like I don't get, I'm not overly emotional. So no, I don't scream and yell at people, mainly because I'm on the carnivore diet and I'm not overly emotional. My emotional state is more leveled out. That's another benefit that I didn't even really think about until recently. Why did I worry excessively over things that I honestly didn't have any control over? It didn't make any sense, and I don't do that anymore so much. I mean, everybody worries about some things, but it's like it's made a big difference. So, no, I'm not going to scream and yell.
But you don't. I'm going to tell you what I have discovered. Red meat does contribute to cancer risk. Limit the consumption of red meat to 18 ounces a week. That's equivalent to a small lean hamburger or a small steak fillet once a day. That's a lot of meat. I don't eat that much.
Oh, he's almost like he sounds very Eat Lancet-ish to me, actually. And if the Eat Lancet Commission is wanting us to really ramp up the vegetables and stay the heck away from meat. So he's sounding like, he's telling you how much to eat, like he has some kind of prescribed antidote to this. Like he has some kind of proven study that shows how much exactly you should eat every week, because they know that you'll be fine without that, because you can have some of this NEU5GC. You can have some, but you can only have this much in order for you to live for a really long time. I mean,
Then people will say, Mike, how could you lecture me on diet when you had a heart attack? Well, I'll answer that one as well, since most of you are stupid. Father dead at 59, heart disease. Grandfather 40.
Since most of us are stupid. Okay. Again, honey, not vinegar. Doesn't work.
47, heart attack. Grandfather 39, heart attack. So I've been running with a gun to my head since I'm young. I didn't want to die as a young man. So I searched the world for answers, and I believe I found answers. And I wrote a lot of books on different subjects to do with health, diet, nutrition, immunology, homeopathy, herbal medicine, etc. And I believe that this study is definitive with regard to the actual science of what's in red meat, rather than what you think you know about carnivore diets. So if you're feeling good, God bless you. But I'm cautioning you in advance to be very careful. Be very, very careful. Too much animal protein will damage your kidneys. Too much protein of any kind will damage many other organs in your body. We are not made for it. Plus, by not getting any fiber from...
We're not made for it. We do not have a fermenter digestive system. He's about to go on a fiber rant. We do not have a fermenter digestive system. We are not gorillas. We do not eat our own poo to get B12. Okay? Mr. Weiner?
Plants or such, you're increasing your risk of colon cancer. Carnivore diets increase LDL and heart disease risks. You may not know this.
Oh, there it is, the LDL. Gotta watch out for that big old boogeyman LDL that your body makes on purpose and has always made on purpose.
One of the unfortunate messages spread by many low-carb communities is that LDL is not causal in heart disease. This advice flies directly in the face of the best research and position papers from every atherosclerosis scientist in the world. which takes the exact opposite position. And they're not all in the pocket of statin manufacturers.
It's statin. Learn to say it right. But I'm not even going to go on this one. If you're a carnivore and you understand, how the demonization of animal fats has played out, the role of Ansel Keys back in the day in the sugar industry and the power and control in the pharmaceutical industry. I'm not going to do that right now, but yeah.
People on all meat, very high saturated fat diets will raise LDL to unhealthy levels, but don't tell that to Kennedy because he can do more push-ups than you can.
He can.
There are more studies about the carnivore diet that I can show you, but I won't do it at this time. I think I've given you enough evidence for you to make up your own mind. And again, before I leave you on this subject, I have much more to say. I have many, many more studies, more science, many more science studies about the dangers of the all-carnivore, all-meat diet that you're not reading about on Instagram, but you know everything about science and medicine because a girl with a good body who's 18 years old has told you how great she's doing on steak.
Who's this 18-year-old who's he keeps referring to? It sounds like he's got the hots for her. I don't know. I thought maybe it was Bella because she's always sporting the midriff thing, but I don't know because she's not 18. I don't know who he's talking about. Do you? Put in the comments who you think it is because I think he's got a thing for her, whoever she is.
It is madness to load your body up like this. Now you're going to tell me what the cavemen eat. You're not a caveman, you schmuck. Or you're going to read some guy who committed suicide by banging into a wall who told you that the Eskimos ate blubber and they did great. How many times do I have to tell you cannot make a decision for large bodies of population based upon an Eskimo or about
an Eskimo? So now he's ragging on the Inuits or whatever, like the people who are eating primarily animal based, and if you look at their rates of disease and all that kind of stuff, you can see that they are generally pretty healthy from what I understand. I'm not into all the epidemiological studies of the different tribes and all that kind of stuff, but I think that's one of the groups of people that have been looked at, and they're primarily meat eaters. They don't because look at where they live and everything and what they have to the environment they have and what they have to eat. But I don't know what he's talking about, beating your head into a wall. I don't understand that reference. But he says a lot of things that are off the wall, so I'm just not gonna worry about it too much. But we're not cavemen, you schmucks.
Small group of people, or your Uncle Mo who drank whiskey and smoked cigarettes and lived to 100. That's not science. That's not science at all. Do what you want. Do what you want. Eat steak all day long. Eat milkshakes. Eat eggs. You're going to get sick, and you're going to get cancer, and you're going to die very young.
Oh.
I'm telling you that this is what evidence shows us. I have nothing in this. I have nothing gain or lose by this. I don't care whether you eat meat or don't eat meat. I'm not.
Well, you sound awfully pissed off. So you keep saying that you have nothing to gain, or you don't gotta, you don't. There's no skin off your nose or whatever. But you sure do sound awfully angry. Is this just the way you are? Are you like this all the time? Are you this nasty and mean? You give like angry old man vibes, like big time. Like, so, you kind of redefine the stereotype here. So maybe you should look at what you're eating. Just saying.
Not in the meat business. I'm not here selling you anything. I am here for the public good. God told me to go forth and educate the public, which is what I've been my whole life, a teacher.
Okay, so I'm going to stop it here because he goes off onto a tangent that I don't really follow. I can't follow what he's even talking about. He's talking about a bunch of things. He shows a bunch of his books that he wrote. Mr. Weiner wrote a lot of books about nutrition and all kinds of things, and he goes through and he shows you his books that he reminds you he's not selling. He's not selling, but he might sell one of them later. So anyway, You guys give me your views on this guy. And again, I guess he's a political, I don't know what honestly, I don't know what he is. I really don't know what he is. There's political undertones, overtones, whatever, for a lot of, I think, his videos, but I don't think he's just a political, like, pundit type person. I think he's something altogether different. I don't know what, but he's obnoxious, I can tell you that. And a very just hateful sounding, nasty man. But he's one of the ones, when you're looking at people who are Kool-Aid drinkers, they are like, well, you have to believe everything that comes out of the medical establishment. You have to listen to all of the status quo. You are not allowed, no matter how many medical conditions that you reverse with your diet. We don't care, because we are the authority and we're the ones with the degrees and we understand things, and you're just too stupid to even know what you're doing. So your input is not needed or not valued at all. And that's exactly what's wrong with the medical system in this country, is that, it's supposed to be about healing people, and it absolutely is not. Absolutely, 100% is not. It is a big old system that wants to keep you sick, fat, and nearly dead, unfortunately. Nearly dead, not dead, because you can't make money off of a corpse. So, but anyway, that's my take on all of this. You let me know in the comments what you think about this grumpy old man, and I'll be interested to see him. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and if you could hit that like button, if you did like the video, if you could hit the like button, it would really help me out a lot. And if you want to subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.